All right, John, from high above Dodger Stadium on a beautiful night for baseball. Game 1 between the Dodgers and the Nationals, the defending champions out of the West and the defending champions out of the East. And you know about the matchup by now. It is Max Scherzer, who's won each of the last 2 Cy Youngs in the NL, facing Clayton Kershaw, moved up a day from Saturday with Rich Hill placed on the disabled list. It is the first time in 12 years that 3-time Cy Young Award winners face off head-to-head, and we're glad that you're here for it. Joe Davis and Ol Hershiser, this is about as good as it gets, isn't it?
2 Titans on the mound. I am so excited to see this game, to watch these guys go toe-to-toe. It's one thing to watch them pitch across when they're playing in other games, but now when they're on the same mound against their teams, you take this tail of the tape. Wins Scherzer, yes, but Kershaw really dominant in the ERA category. The batting average is about the same. Strikeouts go to Scherzer's side because he's a little bit more of a chase guy, but Clayton gets it done with the K-ball. These 2 guys have had offenses lately that have scored a lot of runs. I'm not sure they're going to get that kind of support tonight.
They faced off twice before head-to-head as far as starting pitchers as rookies in 06 or in 08. And then again in the postseason, game 1 of the division series a couple of years ago. Dodgers starting to heat up, having won 4 in a row. Bryce Harper and the Nationals playing better baseball lately, too. We've got first pitch from Dodger Stadium coming up just around the corner. going to find a better pitching matchup than this one all season across baseball. Scherzer and Kershaw, Nationals and Dodgers from Dodger Stadium. We figured we'd bring in another perspective for this one from a different perspective. Down in the field, brought to you by El Pollo Loco, is Nomar Garciaparra from a hitter's perspective tonight.
I'll tell you, once again, I'm here right next to the dugout. What a view, what an angle I get to watch this pitching matchup. We talked about spotlighting last time over course here. Today's not about spotlighting anything. Why would you? Because we have both Clayton Kershaw and Max Scherzer on the mound. One is to watch them on TV, but to be here on the side, get the view of the hitters as they're sitting in the dugout and as they're preparing themselves to have to face these two guys. This is going to be a fun matchup.
Can't wait to get it started. Let's take a look at the lineup that Clayton Kershaw will face off with for Washington. It's a depleted lineup right now because of injuries, so some unfamiliar faces in here. No Murphy, no Eaton, no Rendon. Trey Turner to lead it off. Then, of course, Bryce Harper after the former Dodger Howie Kendrick. Ryan Zimmerman heated up in their last game after a slow start. Moises Sierra getting some time because of the injuries. Then Wieters, Taylor, and Defoe, another guy benefiting from the injuries that the Nats have dealt with so far. Kershaw coming off his best outing of the season. Just one run over 7 innings on Sunday against Arizona, striking out a season-high 12.
He's been fantastic all year. The record doesn't show how good he has been. Hopefully the Dodgers support him here tonight, but it's going to be tough to score runs off the other guy, so he knows right from the very first pitch that mistakes will be accentuated.
Trying to pitch the Dodgers to a 5th consecutive win. Nationals, meanwhile, started 4-0, then a 3-9 stretch before taking 2 of 3 from the Mets this week. Trey Turner rips the first pitch of the night into the left field corner and opens this much-billed pitcher's duel with a ringing double.
Trey Turner matches a statistic I was reading before the game. On first pitches, when it's put in play, Clayton Kershaw against him, 50% line drive percentage. That's slightly above 50% after that first pitch.
So Turner with a double, and here's Howie Kendrick. And that's something you see a lot of when you see aces pitch. That is teams trying to jump on them early in the counts, because when you fall behind against guys like this, good luck. Kendrick goes after the first pitch as well. No big deal for Taylor in center. Turner will take third.
Right fielder number 34, Bryce Harper.
And here is Harper. Doing Bryce Harper things so far. Leading the majors for those 8 home runs. Also leading the National League in RBIs. Leading the league in runs. Leading the league in slugging. Here in his 7th major league season. Infield comes in for Dave Roberts as Grandal sets the target low and away. Kershaw throws one that's dribbled through the right side for a base hit, and the Nationals have a first inning run. Turner in to score on a Bryce Harper base hit.
The 3 Nat hitters have all swung at the first pitch. This ball's not hit hard. It would have been an out if they were back, but Bryce Harper just trying to make contact and not really wanting to get to the slider and curveball, so they are attacking early.
So 1-0 Washington, and the cleanup man Ryan Zimmerman comes to the plate. Offense been about league average overall for Washington, but in the first inning they've been the best, most productive team in the league. That's their first-year manager Dave Martinez. Spent the last 10 years as Joe Maddon's bench coach, first in Tampa Bay, then with the Cubs. On a 1-0, Zimmerman takes ball 2. It kicks away from Grandal, who just now finds it. Harper's going to hang on at second.
Ball gets away from Yasmani, takes an odd kick. It looked like it might have hit the corner of the plate and gave it a kick towards the Nats dugout.
So Kershaw behind Zimmerman 2-0. 14-year big league veteran, all with the Nationals. Fouls it off, 2-1.
Yasmani, have a day back there. The ball that takes a bad kick, and that one got a big piece of him. Like off his inner thigh there on the right side. A little too close for comfort.
Yeah. Harper at second. And Kershaw ready for a 2-1 to Zimmerman. Hit on the ground foul, and it's 2-2. Zimmerman trying to get things going for the Nationals. He got off to an awful start and then finally broke out in their last game against New York on Wednesday. So he started the season hitting .121 with 1 homer over the first 18 games. On Wednesday, 3 for 4 with 2 home runs, and he drove in 4. One on, one out. Here's a 2-2 pitch to him. Driven to left center field. Taylor sprinting over, won't get there. RBI double for Ryan Zimmerman, and the Nationals have a 2-0 lead against Kershaw.
Let's take a look at the Audi pitch cast as the Nationals now have a 2 spot on the board very quickly against Clayton. Trying to go away and ends up throwing it on the inner half. This is the first hard hit ball of the year that Clayton has given up with a runner in scoring position. The 16th at bat. That's the first one that's been considered hard hit.
Couple balls hit really hard in this inning against him. First pitch that he threw, Turner smashed into the corner. And now this one brings up Moises Sierra, who takes the ball. Sierra getting an opportunity because of the injuries they're dealing with. They were expecting Adam Eaton off of the disabled list this weekend, but not quite yet. Injured his ankle early on. Daniel Murphy's not played yet. It's off of the hand, softly to short for Seager. And the second out. And Anthony Rendon's not played this week. Fouled a ball off his toe last weekend. So the Nationals took 2 of 3 from the Mets, and they did it without 3 of their top 4 hitters.
You know, when Zimmerman was slumping, and of late he's getting hot, but it really put a focus on what Bryce Harper is doing, hitting in front of him. I mean, he might only be getting a pitch, maybe 2, in the at-bat, because the people behind him have not been hitting, and Zimmerman especially.
With 2 gone, it's Wieters out of the 6th spot. The veteran catcher looks at a ball inside. This is another guy who spent time on the DL so far. Second game of the year, injured his oblique. That's going to become a common theme over the last few years for Washington. Key injuries. It's fouled off 1-1. They had Adam Eaton gone almost all of last season after they acquired him from the White Sox. Remember, late in 2016, they lost their catcher Wilson Ramos, so the Dodgers didn't have to deal with him during the postseason. Strasburg has had injury issues in recent years. Still, though, they won 97 games a year ago. 2-1. Closed captioning tonight brought to you by Wiener Schnitzel. Very similar starts for these 2 teams this year. Both favored to win the division. Both a game below 500 coming in. On a 2-1. Wieters fouls it off 2-2. And again, off Grandal.
He is not having a good first inning when it comes to bruises. And that one hit him twice. Looked like it hit the shin guard where all the padding is, and then went down to the foot. He's smiling. I chose this profession.
Right. Life of a catcher. RBI hits Harper and Zimmerman. Zimmerman's at third with 2 gone. And Kershaw to the plate with a 2-2. Wieters pokes a curveball to first. Bellinger will race to the bag and win it. But Washington gets 2 and gets Max Scherzer a lead to work with. To the bottom of the first we go. Has started to get right, comes to the plate for the first time tonight looking like this. Chris Taylor to lead things off. Then it's Seager coming off the 4-hit game. Grandal tied for the league lead in batting average with Bellinger, Peterson, and Utley in the middle. Puig and Max Muncy with his Dodger Stadium debut against the 33-year-old. Back-to-back Cy Youngs, 3 in his career, and off to another good start, leading the league in strikeouts so far.
Years ago, he threw the ball around 100 miles an hour. When he gained command and became the Cy Young Award winner, it was 96, 97. The average fastball now is down to about 94, but it's getting hit less. And I think it's because he's throwing more cutters, so the people are off the fastball a little bit more.
Chris Taylor there to greet him. Scherzer's first pitch of the night, slashed into right center field. Harper races over, and it bangs off the wall. Chris Taylor busting around second, and with a misplay in center, he's at third, starting the night with a bang. And baseball being the funny game that it is, Scherzer against Kershaw, both give up an extra base hit on the first pitch of the night.
Both lineups attacking the first pitch. They don't want to face these guys deep in the count where you've got to think about all of their out pitches. You see something straight, keep it simple, and get the barrel on it.
True to triple. So Taylor's at third, and Corey Seager comes up and gets drilled. First and third, nobody out.
We talked about before the game, everybody excited about this matchup, but you know, the pitchers won't admit it, but you can already tell that the lineups are excited to face them, and the pitchers are a little off their game because they know how big this is.
It's Grandal now. We were talking about that during the pregame show. Of course, publicly they say, no, it's just another game. You don't pay attention to who's pitching on the other side. You're a guy that's pitched in games like this before, and you're calling their bluff. Ball one on Grandal.
I thought about it, Joe. I mean, you look at who you're going to pitch against right after your last game, and when it lines up, Clayton wasn't looking at this game, and all of a sudden it became a game against Max because of the Rich Hill injury.
Off of the hands. Who wants it? Zimmerman for out number 1.
I had a matchup with Frank Viola in 1989, and both of us won the Cy Young in our respective leagues the year before. And I wanted to win that game in a big way in '89 when we matched up. He became a Met. I pitched for the Dodgers, of course, and he beat me. But I knew going into that game, going against another ace like that, you really want to shine. And you know people are going to talk about it currently in the present tense, and they might talk about it for a while in the future.
You didn't get much run support that night, huh?
Not much, but that's all right. They helped me the year before.
At the corners, 1 out. Here's Cody Bellinger. Strike 1 on a cutter. Let's check in with Nomar.
Well, I'll tell you, obviously, you touched on it, Joe, why you're facing aces that you want to attack the first pitch. You don't want to get behind in either one of these pitchers because you know they're out pitches. But at the same time, the other approach you kind of take, and especially a guy like Scherzer, is possibly that 2-strike approach right when you step in the box. You're not waiting to get 2 strikes. You're kind of shortening up and try to square the ball up. And especially now, especially after you have that leadoff triple by Chris Taylor, it's a matter of going, I need to shorten up and just get the job done. Try and find a ball that you can handle, get it in the air, and score him from third base.
Yeah, and that was kind of the message, Nomar, in the hitters meeting today, was against a guy like this, be as simple as you possibly can. Don't try to think along with him. Looking for a strikeout here with an 0-2. Bellinger hits it foul. Cody hitting .350 since the calendar turned to April after the 0 for 9 opening weekend. Trying to get the Dodgers on the board against Scherzer here in the first. Another 0-2. Cuts inside, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, Joe, we were just talking about that pitch before that where Cody Bellinger ended up fouling off. You saw how he just kind of threw the bat at it, just to look like he was almost protecting. But that's his 2-strike approach. We've seen that this year by Cody Bellinger. But that was a perfect example. His first 2 swings where they were a little long and big, and then he waited till he got 2 strikes. That's something to think about later on, that maybe I should have just taken that 2-strike approach right from the very first swing.
Takes in the dirt here, 2-2. No question, Scherzer's providing plenty of power for you.
That was his first changeup of the game, and your starting pitcher, you come out with the adrenaline, big game, you're fresh, and you feel like you can throw the ball through a wall. But he did try to pull the string there.
And now on a 2-2. Reigning Rookie of the Year, Cody Bellinger strikes out swinging in a fastball. A big strikeout for Scherzer and 2 away.
In the stretch, he is holding for a long time before he delivers home after coming set. It's almost like he's freezing Bellinger when he comes set, like you would freeze a base runner that's a base stealer.
Which is interesting because normally Scherzer's coming right at you, to the point where it's uncomfortable that he's working so quickly. 2 on, 2 out for Jock Peterson. A little bit low for a ball. Well, some questions when the lineup came out. Why not Kemp? Why Peterson? Couple reasons. Jock on a limited sample size. Success against Scherzer. The big home run in the division series. Kemp, meanwhile, 6 for 46 lifetime against Max Scherzer. Dave Roberts loading that lineup up with left-handed hitters, 7 of them against Scherzer. Who's home 1-0. That's a strike.
This is about as slow as you'll see Max Scherzer work. He's usually like a bull in a china shop out there. Get the ball, get back on the rubber, and let's go. But first inning, knocked on his heels with a 2-0 lead. He's trying to survive that leadoff triple.
Here's his 1-1. Inside on Peterson. Saturday against Colorado, his last time out, he gave up a 2-run home run to Charlie Blackmon with 1 out in the first inning. Then proceeded to retire 20 straight and finish 7 innings. So when you have an opportunity, you better take advantage against this guy. Going away with a 2-1, and Peterson takes it for ball 3.
Good discipline from Jock, and that keeps his on-base percentage up. When he's slumping, one of the things that keeps him in a lineup is the fact that he doesn't chase and he'll take his walks.
Yeah, and even though the average is low so far, he has more walks than he does strikeouts this year. Runners at the corners and 2 gone. He waits on this 3-1. Big rip and a miss, 3-2.
That was not the 2-strike approach that Nomar was talking about. This is a full-fledged big cut.
Well, so far this week we've seen another time the Dodgers have had a man on third with nobody outs and unable to score them, and that's a perfect time where we were just talking about, where you have to have that just 2-strike approach when you know you're able to at least put the ball in play and get something done.
Strike 3 called, and the Dodgers unable to take advantage of a nice opportunity against Scherzer in the first. Taylor starts the inning with a triple, but is stranded there. Between the Dodgers and the Nationals. Clayton Kershaw giving up 2 in the first on a base hit from Harper and a double from Zimmerman. In the bottom third of the Nats order here in the second. Michael Taylor to lead it off. Taylor looks at a strike, which we didn't see a whole lot of in that first inning. Nationals very aggressive against Clayton. A curve, bottom of the zone, strike 2.
Most of the runs that Clayton has given up this year are on the home run ball because it's so hard to string hits against him. But that was his first 3-hit inning of 2018.
Record of just 1-2, but that's been because of a lack of run support. The ERA very Clayton-like, 173 coming in. Taylor hits a high drive to left center field. Jock Peterson is under this one, and Taylor's the first out of the inning. They go down to Nomar, who's had a good look up close at these two guys through an inning.
Well, for that very first inning for Clayton Kershaw, the Nationals swung at 10 of his 15 pitches and didn't miss any of those every time they swung the bat, and especially on the first pitch. And they did that early. Why? Well, that's the book on Clayton Kershaw. And you often hear great pitchers like Clayton Kershaw, what are you trying to do? Well, I'm trying to get ahead early. Well, for Clayton, it's often with that fastball.
Wilmer Defoe lays it down, barehanded at third by Muncy, and he introduces himself to the Dodger Stadium crowd with a beautiful defensive play.
Pitcher number 31.
Morongo slow-mo replay, and you can't be slow-mo and make this play. A great barehanded play from Muncy. Accurate throw, not tailing into the runner. Do not try that at home. That is a very difficult play, and well done.
Scherzer takes a strike. Now Muncy, a really nice debut in San Diego, had a pinch hit single on Tuesday night, had a home run on Wednesday night, and his first Dodger Stadium start tonight. And in the hands of Scherzer, fouls it back, 0-2. Neither one of these guys have ever gotten a hit off of one another head to head, by the way. A couple of previous meetings as rookies in 08. Game 1 of the division series in 16. Also both pitched in game 5 of that same division series. Scherzer started it for the Nationals. Kershaw finished it for the Dodgers in memorable fashion.
Hitters will tell you it's different when you face an ace, and pitchers that have to bat against those aces will tell you it's different. You really do realize visually when you get in the box as a pitcher trying to hit the opposing ace that, wow, it is different. It is harder. Clayton missed his spot right there. He's trying to go down and in, and almost ended up and down the middle. But you'll see both of these guys grind out at bats, even though they know it's going to be tough to face each other.
Too much pride for each one of these guys to just lay down. Kershaw gets his first strikeout of the game. He's got a 10-pitch second. We're off and rolling at Dodger Stadium. 2-0 Nationals. for Performance Spotlight, looking at these aces who are both first-round picks in 2006. Kershaw going 7th overall to the Dodgers. Scherzer 11th overall to the Diamondbacks. They both then debuted 2 years later. Scherzer in April, Kershaw in May. And of course, 3 Cy Youngs for both these guys. Kershaw winning his in 11, 13, and 14. Scherzer got one in the American League with the Tigers in 13. And then he's won each of the last 2 in the NL. Last 5 years, 5 Cy Youngs combined. Neither one of these guys has finished out of the top 5 at any point during that stretch. 2 of the 10 pitchers all time with 3 of them.
If you're going to pick a favorite for this year's National League Cy Young, I would have to think that these 2 are right at the top of your list.
Chase Utley to lead off this second for the Dodgers, who had a good chance against Scherzer in the first, but nothing to show for it. Taylor started the game with a triple. Scherzer then hit Seager, but they were stranded at the corners. What a year Chase Utley's having so far. Swings and misses at a changeup, falls behind 0-2. At first, it was just spot duty. Earned some more playing time with a good start, and then the trickle down of the injuries means that he's in there most days now.
Hitting close to 350, and Chase has not just been finding holes. He's been hitting the ball hard. He's been having very good at bats. This is not like good fortune. He really has found the fountain of youth with his bat. You see the comparison last year. At some point, people were almost thinking about they need to run him out of town. There's just no way.
Yanks one into the shift. Howie Kendrick in short right throws him out. Yeah, he started last season 1 for 29 over his first 14 games. And remember, it was a simulated game that he volunteered to be a part of. Brandon McCarthy at about 2 o'clock in the afternoon before a 7 p.m. game was throwing a sim game for himself, trying to come back from injury. Normally that's the 2 or 3 youngest guys on the roster. Maybe a minor league guy gets driven in. Chase Utley volunteered to go hit in it. That night doubled a couple of times. It was a different guy moving forward. Ball one on Puig.
And when he volunteered to be in it, he already knew he was going to be in the lineup that night. So, you know, okay, veteran guy, maybe I shouldn't do all this work. I should stay rested. Maybe that'll get me over the top.
Puig hits a towering fly ball to center field. Back on it, Taylor at the track, at the wall, and makes the catch. He again just misses and 2 out.
Third baseman, number 13, Max.
Yasiel, a ball that's right down the middle, and he squares it up. He wasn't going to wait around. Max Scherzer catches a break as the temperatures here in LA drop as the sun goes down, and that's what kept that one in the park.
2 up and 2 down, and here's Muncy. Taking a strike. Well, Muncy brought up partly with Max Scherzer in mind. Logan Forsythe went down last week. He was the first guy they thought of, but had been playing mostly first base, and they wanted to get him a few days of shaking the rust off at third before they brought him up to the majors. And so he did that at Oklahoma City. Well, Breivik Valera came up in the interim, and as soon as Muncy felt ready at third, he was brought up. Takes a little bit in, and he's ahead of Scherzer. 2 balls and a strike. Two and two.
A little bit of frustration for the Dodgers on both defense, with Clayton getting hit around early and Washington attacking, and then on the offense, letting the leadoff triple from Taylor be stranded, and Yasiel Puig's deep fly out right there.
Scherzer gets his third K of the game using the changeup to finish Muncy off, and the Dodgers down in order in the second. Opening a 6-game homestand against the National League East tonight. He's 3 with the Nationals, 3 with the Marlins starting on Monday. Nationals at 9-10. Started the Dave Martinez era 4-0 and then went 3-9, including a 5-game losing streak before getting things on track against the first place Mets in New York, taking 2 of 3. Dodgers, meanwhile, will hope to come from behind tonight to get a 5th consecutive win, trying to get back to 500. Top of the order, Trey Turner to lead it off against Kershaw. Swung at the first pitch of the game. Swings again at the first pitch that he sees. This one's dump foul. In the first inning, hardest hit ball of the year for Turner. Double down the left field line.
Yasmani wanted to mix it up and throw a breaking ball, and Clayton said, nope, we're going fastball in. We're going to challenge him again.
Now the curve, 0-2.
Turner led to the first run in the first inning. Those 2 runs that Clayton gave up match the 2 runs that he gave up the 17 innings prior. That's how hot he was. He's going to need a little help from his teammates tonight offensively to chalk up a W.
Here he comes with a 1-2. Turner waits on a curve, smacks it on a bounce to Utley. 1 out. Kershaw's always been good against Washington. In fact, his last 9 starts against the Nationals, he's won all 9 of them, has a sub-1 ERA. Go back to the 2016 Division Series against Washington when this man here, Howie Kendrick, was on the Dodgers. Kershaw, some memorable stuff. Pours in a strike here. Pitched 3 times in 7 days in that series, beating Scherzer in game 1. Came back on 3 days rest in game 4, struck out 11. And then, of course, 2 days later, game 5, recorded the final 2 outs in relief of Kenley Jansen. That was like stuff out of a movie on that night of game 5, where he disappeared from the dugout and then reemerged wearing a hoodie with his spikes on after he had the sneakers on in the dugout before that. Check swing tapper back to him. 2 up and 2 down. And then he was like this figure out of a movie again, walking out to the bullpen between innings. No chance Kershaw could pitch again, is there? But he did, and finished off that division series. The 2 gone in the 3rd inning. Bryce Harper comes up.
The matchup between Kershaw and Scherzer, probably 2 Hall of Famers. Well, this matchup here, 2 Hall of Famers.
It's crazy you can say that about Harper, and he's only 25 years old. Strike 1.
It is crazy, and it was crazy when we started talking about Clayton when he was a few years younger, as he's already probably punched his ticket. 1 at 30, 1 at 25, and we've got a lot of entertainment in our future because of their age.
Curveball, and he swings through it for strike 2.
Bryce Harper has a tough time against lefties, keeping that front side in. And Clayton very good at accentuating that flaw on left-handed hitters.
Here he comes 0-2, and Harper strikes out swinging. Went to the slider this time. Kershaw with a 1-2, 3/3, settling in after the 2-run first. The Dodgers 2-0 as Max Scherzer gets ready to face Clayton Kershaw. Tailing fastball in for a strike. The 11th overall pick in 06 against the 7th overall pick. Scherzer out of Missouri. And he thinks that pitching in college is one of the big keys to making him who he is now as a workhorse, guy that you consistently see crossing 7 innings, crossing 200 innings for a season. He gets Kershaw for the first out of the 3rd on his 4th punch out.
Max Scherzer is the kind of guy that, yes, he hits his target, but he gets a lot of strikes because people have to chase him. You got an average fastball about 94 miles an hour. You don't always have to hit your target. He also changes his speed about 16 miles an hour from the curveball that's down there around 78 and then all the way back up to 94, so you don't always get the best look at him.
One of the all-time elites when it comes to strikeouts, both these guys. Scherzer struck out 4 of the last 6. Chris Taylor rips and misses strike 1. You're just finishing off that point about pitching in college and how that's affected his development. He said you're a whole lot more likely to throw 120 pitches, 130 pitches when you're in college than when you become a pro and you're being handled by the organization. And the ability to have practiced that, he said, is something that the importance of can't go understated. When you don't practice throwing 120 pitches or whatever it may be, it's hard to dig that deep and be expected to be effective for that long. Two and one.
What you learn also is not only that you can go deep in the game because of pitch count, but that you can fight your way out of your own jams, and you learn a lot about yourself and pitching in traffic that can then get things done at the big league level.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
If you're at a college where they immediately go to the bullpen when all of a sudden trouble arises, the same way at the big league level that they're starting to do that, when trouble arises, they go to their high leverage guy or they go to a matchup situation. You don't really learn to pitch out of jams. That's a callus you need to build. You need to build the callus of the emotional disappointment of giving up a hit or walking a guy or getting a borderline call from the umpire squeezed and it's a ball and now you got a guy on that you don't think should be there. You've got to then contain that and then channel that energy into getting the next guy out.
Fastball rides up. Taylor's able to lay off and he's worked it full.
I think everybody recognizes it when a pitcher's body language changes. And all of a sudden you can say, hey, we're getting close to him. We're getting him. You know, the team starts to smell blood. The fans start to cheer louder. Max doesn't do that. If his body language changes or Clayton's changes, it's for the good for them. It's almost like, oh my God, they're getting stronger. They're getting more focused. They're really locking in to getting out of this jam.
Not too many guys that pitch with more intensity than the 2 guys facing off tonight. 8th pitch coming up to Chris Taylor. It's another 3-2. He takes it low, ball 4, and in 2 trips up there tonight, Taylor has tripled and drawn the lone walk against Scherzer.
Number 5, Corey Seager.
And now Seager. Corey Seager really coming alive in San Diego. In the few games prior to that, we'd seen a lot of soft ground outs. Then you started to see him hit the ball hard more. And you started to see the results with a 4-hit game on Wednesday night. You see the previous 3 games to San Diego, hardly anything hit hard. Most of it was on the ground. It's a pretty picture the last 3. Line drive rate, hard hit rate. Takes ball 1 from Scherzer.
His bottom line of production is a lot higher than most people, and his top line when he is hot is higher than most people. That's how you end up being a career 300 hitter.
He gets hit for the 2nd time tonight. Scherzer hadn't hit a batter over his first 27 innings of the season. He's gotten Seager twice in 3 innings.
Well, these are not on purpose, but they are a conscious thought that Corey Seager is hot and I'm not going to let him beat me. So what you do then is you hope he chases a little bit, but where he's been throwing him, you can't chase. You just try and get out of the way, and he got plucked twice.
So 2nd time in 3 innings, the Dodgers have put 2 on against Max Scherzer. Couldn't do anything with it in the 1st inning. Try to have a different story here with the heart of the order coming up. Yasmani Grandal takes ball 1. Right in an 8-game hitting streak, tied for the National League lead, hitting .352 coming in. On this 1-0. Down the middle for a strike, 1-1.
Change up.
Bouncing ball to second. Kendrick feeding Turner. A double play. So the Dodgers twice have had some traffic against Scherzer, but still trailed 2-0 after 3. Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try the new Cholula Buttery Jack, part of the Buttery Jack family, only at Jack in the Box. 81 Cy Young Award winner, 2011 Cy Young Award winner, Clayton Kershaw after the first of his 3, 2011, 2013, 2014. Only 4 pitchers have won more than 3. Clemens, Carlton, Randy Johnson, and Greg Maddux. We've got 2 of the 10 that have won 3 head-to-head tonight. Middle third of the order for the Nats, Ryan Zimmerman to lead this inning off. Goes after the first pitch, a bounce at a Seager, 1 pitch, 1 out.
Clayton Kershaw attacking the zone. Yes, there's a 2 spot up there, but over 75% of his pitches have been for strikes, and the Nats are free swinging early.
And since Zimmerman's RBI doubled in the first, that's 9 in a row retired for him. Now Moises Sierra. Strike 1.
Clayton's curveball command so far this year has been outstanding. He was a little mad at himself there that he didn't hit his target. He has been very accurate with that curveball tonight.
Back to the fastball, another ground ball. Max Muncy. And that's 10 straight for Kershaw.
2 different styles tonight. You have Scherzer with a guy that gets a lot of chases. Clayton gets his share of those, but he is more built on accuracy. His is down usually, the accuracy. Scherzer will finish you up. Clayton doesn't do that very often. But what Clayton does better than Max is hit his targets. And he gets really precise with the curveball and the slider.
2 Ks for him tonight. Matt Wieters now. A little bit outside with a fastball, 1-0. Strike one. Kershaw working on the veteran catcher, 31 years old now, in his 10th year in the majors. Swings through a curve, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The Nationals hoping Wieters can have a bounce back season from what was by far his worst year last year in his first year with the Nats. 8 years in Baltimore, was an all-star 4 times. But then last year hit just .225. On a 1-2 pitch. He looks at a slider to the back door for strike 3. 3rd consecutive 1-2-3 inning for Clayton Kershaw, needing just 8 pitches that time around. We go down to Nomar.
Well, Cody Bellinger, he was off to a slow start. This whole offense was, but Cody Bellinger, if you look at, he's 2nd in the NL among first basemen with a .308 average. He scored 15 runs. I think he was just waiting for the calendar to turn to April. March, he was 0 for 9, but since April 1st, batting .350. Been doing a nice job. We talk about the 2nd year after he is not going to be able to hide after his first year and being rookie of the year. Got to make the adjustments, and especially against a guy like Max Scherzer, got to make the adjustments.
Struck him out his first time. It's one of the 4 for Scherzer so far. Ball's behind him here, 2-0. Yeah, so Max Scherzer's first outing ever against the Dodgers when he was with the Diamondbacks, it was in relief, and the very first Dodger that he faced was Nomar. Fouled off, 2-1. Nomar grounded back to him.
Oh, I grounded back to him?
Yeah.
Oh, so I put it in play. That's a good job. Good job. I tell you, the one thing I remember Max Scherzer coming out of the bullpen. I remember the first time, because you were talking, even Oral was talking about it, throwing 98, 100 miles an hour, and you knew he had a lot of life to his pitches, and he also has the deception. And he was one out of the bullpen where you're going, can we get through him and just get to the closer? That was the type of stuff that he had coming out of there.
Bellinger swings and misses at a change, and it's full.
The one thing about Max Scherzer is when you look at pitchers, pitchers go, okay, do I have velocity? If I don't have velocity, you say, okay, do I have movement? And then the other thing we look at pitchers, if you have movement, can I have deception? And then the final thing you say, well, at least I want to have command. Max Scherzer has all 4 of those things. That's what makes him so impressive. When he started having that command on a regular basis, that's what made him Max Scherzer.
Bellinger pops this one back, and it will get to the seats. It stays full. Bellinger making him work. A couple of Dodgers have. Chris Taylor worked an 8-pitch walk his last time up. This would be the 8th pitch here. And Bellinger takes ball 4 to start the 4th. Second walk issued by Scherzer, who came into the game having walked only 4 over his first 4 starts total.
Second walk, but 4 free passes with the 2 plunks of Corey Seager. So even in some ways, Max Scherzer has the zeros up there, but he is showing some respect to this hot Dodger lineup.
And now Peterson. One of Jock's most famous swings came against Scherzer. Against the Nationals, Game 5 of the Division Series 2 years back. Still looking for his first homer of 2018. It's a fly ball to center field. Michael Taylor. One gone.
Number 26, Chase Utley.
Nationals 2, Dodgers nothing in the 4th. Chase Utley to the plate. Scherzer 33 years old now, 11th season in the major leagues. And the guy that they say, even with the accolades, the 3 Cy Youngs, back-to-back Cy Youngs, always trying to learn, always trying to get new information about how he can take that next step, whatever that next step might look like. His first pitch to Utley. And Utley can't lay off one that was inside. It's strike 1.
All the different tools that Max has to throw at you. Fastball command has been pretty good tonight. It's the off-speed stuff that has really, he has thrown it, but only about 1/3 of them have been for strikes.
Dodgers had 2 on in the first with nobody out, couldn't score. They had first and second with 1 out last inning, and Scherzer got a double play ball. On an 0-2, Utley takes ball 1. One on, one out. Here comes a 1-2. Utley bounces one that will be backhanded by Turner, and a jump throw to get him. Trey Turner, tremendous play for the second out of the 4th.
Number 66,
Volkswagen replay on this. Everybody knows Trey Turner has great range with his speed, but You forget about how strong his arm is, and that was a combination of both.
So it puts it on Puig's shoulders with 2 out and a 2-0 game. Just barely missed his first home run of the year, his first time up. Michael Taylor to the top of the wall in center to catch it.
Reminded me of Trace Thompson.
Yeah.
Did that to Puig when Oakland was here.
Takes a first pitch cutter for a strike. And those are not the only 2 that Yasiel's been robbed on this young season. He swung it a whole lot better than his .212 average would indicate. No balls and a strike. Scherzer deals and Puig takes inside, ball 1. Out there doing some early work today with Turner Ward. It was Puig, Austin Barnes, and Turner. Swings and misses, chasing a slider.
That might look like Yasiel's old mistake swing, but this is Max Scherzer, and you just have to tip your hat. That ball was well thrown and late.
#1 whiff percentage in baseball the last 3 years on that slider. Now 1-2. In the dirt, stopped by Wieters. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Dodgers 1 hit in this game. On the first pitch that Scherzer threw, Chris Taylor had a triple. No hits since then. On a 2-2, Puig strikes out swinging, or gets a piece of it actually. Got the top of the ball and stays alive at 2-2. See him pointing to right field there. That's what the early work was today, and what it often is when he's out there early with Turner Ward. Trying to send the ball the other way.
Yasiel hit the fastball to the center field wall in his first at bat. Like this at bat, Scherzer's like, I'm not going to give you a fastball to hit, but finally got to a point where he thought he slowed him down enough with all those sliders that he could sneak a fastball by him, but Yasiel was quick enough to get a piece.
We just got a bat lick there too.
Oh boy, must be a big game.
Another 2-2. Fastball to the outside corner for strike 3. Strikeout number 5 for Scherzer. Still 2-0 Washington.
Seats in the house. Coca-Cola, the official beverage.
all-new franchise mode, and much more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now. Learn more at rbigame.com. Rated E for everyone.
Clayton Kershaw back to the mound for the top of the 5th inning. Those 2 runs Washington scored against him. Both came in the first. Came before he'd gotten the second out. But since then, he's retired 11 straight. And over the last 3 innings, Earl, 9 up, 9 down on just 28 pitches.
He is locked in. We got him early, but he's trying to shut him down the rest of the way.
Michael Taylor to lead off the inning out of the 5 spot. Grounds that one inside the bag. That's a fair ball into the left field corner. And Taylor's got a leadoff double.
Number 1, Wilmer Defoe.
So this one's off to a 2-0 start for the Nationals, and kind of oddly have all the build up to it about the starting pitching, and then the first pitch that each one of them throws gets banged for an extra base hit, but they've settled in since.
Double and a triple, and they have settled in. And you know what? That one blemish in the first inning, you never know if that 2 spot's going to hold up when you go against Max Scherzer. It is really hard, and that's the pressure that you feel as a starting pitcher coming into this game. You have no idea what's going to happen, but you understand here and there, one mistake could cost you.
Hitter Wilmer Defoe grounds it back to Kershaw, who looks the runner to second and throws Defoe out.
Pitcher, Max Scherzer.
With 1 out, here's Scherzer.
It's fantastic to keep Michael Taylor at second base. This at bat with Scherzer would have been a little different if that grounder would have got him over.
One ball, no strikes. Scherzer floats one into right center field. That'll sink in for a base hit. Taylor had to wait to make sure that it would, so he stops at third. And Max Scherzer has put him at the corners with 1 out.
Dodger outfield was pinched in also. This ball hit weakly, and Chris Taylor almost has a shot at it. They were playing in like it was an extra inning game, and you couldn't let the runner on second score. Playing for a good pitch from Clayton Kershaw and a bad hit from Scherzer, but he still found some outfield grass.
Chase Utley doing his best to deke the runner. Looking like he was going to catch that line drive. Taylor wasn't quite fooled. Top of the order now, Trey Turner, who's 1 for 2. The middle infield stays at double play depth. This is a really hard guy to double up. He bunts it right side. Nobody home at first. It's 3-0 Washington, and everybody's safe.
Second baseman, Howie Kendrick.
Left-handed pitchers fall off a little bit to third base. Clayton doesn't on that one. Did an outstanding job. Cody got a read on the bunt and charge. Chase Utley was well up the middle. Really, the Dodger defense was not prepared for the bunt, and Turner took advantage.
Second hit of the game for him. First and second now with 1 out. Howie Kendrick coming up. Foul back, strike 1. We go down to Nomar.
Well, we were just talking about earlier when you're facing aces. I was talking about maybe 2 strikes approach, especially capitalizing on opportunities, using everything in your arsenal. That was perfectly executed by Turner, and just such a great idea and a great bunt to lay it down. Talk about not trying to do too much, not trying to get a big swing off these guys. You're not trying to hit home runs off these guys. Do the little things. That was big.
his approach was really more as a sacrifice bunt. It turned into a base hit because of the defensive alignment and his execution of getting that ball up the first base line. It's going to be like a safety squeeze. Read the bunt, check the area, and come from third. And then when the bunt was so well executed into the Dodger defense, it turned into a hit.
So Kendrick in an 0-2 hole. Here he comes, and Kendrick just barely stays alive. Such a consistent hitter, Howie Kendrick. 13th major league season now. Of course, most of that with the Angels, but then 15 and 16 with the Dodgers. Split last year between the Phillies and the Nationals, and then signed a 2-year contract with Washington this offseason. Curveball bounced wide of the bag, and it stays at 0-2. Howie considers himself somewhat of a history buff. So Washington, for the time away from the park, is a fun place for him. He's enjoyed taking on the museums and the monuments there, and he's already developed a favorite, the Air and Space Museum. Kershaw throws another 0-2. Ground ball to short. Somehow Seager sees that through the runner and starts a double play turn. Not an easy play with Scherzer jumping over that ball, and Seager not seeing it until the last moment. Still able to do it cleanly halfway home.
A standout high school scholar athlete? Then nominate them for a chance to be named a Spectrum Sports Championship Drive Scholar Athlete and receive a $2,500 college scholarship. Go to SpectrumChamp.com now for more information.
Max Scherzer pitching with a 3-0 lead. He's given up just a triple to Chris Taylor to open the game. But no damage done against him. Able to pitch around that triple. 2 walks, 2 hit batsmen. 5 strikeouts on his ledger through the first 4. Here's the 8-hitter Max Muncy. Takes ball 1. Now Muncy always has had really good walk numbers, pretty low strikeout numbers, always a good command of the strike zone. Started his pro career in Oakland. It's a fly ball to right field. Taylor and Harper. It is Harper for the first out. And so you figure a guy coming from Oakland, right? That's where it was kind of born. with the way that they teach their hitters to zero in on a pitch, not chase. But it's actually a step beyond that. That's kind of how he was, and that's why Oakland liked him and drafted him out of Baylor. And a lot of times you do see that with the A's. Those are the guys that they draft, as opposed to just creating these guys that can command the strike zone as hitters. Clayton Kershaw looks at ball one. Ball on a strike. Off the end of the bat, and they had him positioned well and left. Sierra playing very shallow. 2 up and 2 down. New Dodger mini plans are on sale now. You can choose from 3, including the 11-game bobblehead plan featuring the Justin Turner walk-off home run bobblehead presented by State Farm. Mini plan pricing starts at $24. You can learn more at Dodgers.com/mini-plans. Dodgers down 3-0. Third time through the order coming up here. Beginning with a guy that has seemed to see Scherzer as well as anybody in the lineup tonight.
Chris Taylor waiting for Clayton Kershaw to get back to the dugout, give him some time to rest. Chris likes to attack the first pitch, but this might be an at-bat where he just kind of lays low on 1 or 2.
Takes the first one high.
The fact that that was a ball, he might take one more to let Clayton rest a little bit more and then get into the at-bat. You can also ambush him right here because he thinks you're taking.
2-0.
Now the at-bat changes because you get to first base with a walk. Seager on deck. You get back into this game.
Paints the outside corner with a fastball. 2-1. These two guys, Taylor and Seager, have both been on. Both times they've been up. After that, 3 through 9 in the order, just 1 base runner. Bottom of the zone, strike 2. Tries to lay off a change and does. And has drawn another full count against Scherzer.
Borderline low and borderline on the swing.
Hard hit past a diving Defoe and down the line. Second extra base hit of the night for Chris Taylor. Triple and now a double, and the inning kept alive for Seager.
Chris Taylor can't do any better than this. He works the count, rests his starting pitcher who had just made an out, gets the count to 3-2. The respect to him with a 3-2 slider, but stays on it for the double.
Seager trying to take advantage now. Hasn't really had a pitch to hit so far tonight, because he's had 2 pitches hit him. Sticking with a plan of coming inside. Scherzer's first one over the inside half, strike 1. We look back at those 2 hit batsmen on our Carl scan.
Those balls were cutting in there, and the last pitch he just threw to get that first strike was coming inside, but it was more the 2-seamer that came back. So no chance to hit him on that one.
Seager yanks it foul, and it's 0-2.
There he tried to cut it in on him. That was what he's been trying to throw to him with the ones that he hit him. Done. Ran one back towards the plate, and that one was trying to cut it under his hands. As in as he's been, I wouldn't be surprised to see him leak one off the outside corner here, but way off the outside corner.
Got him with a fastball, got him to climb the ladder, and that does it for the Dodgers in the 5th, unable to take advantage of the 2-out double.
Stay tuned tonight for an all-new Backstage Dodgers as LA running back Todd Gurley pays a visit to Dodger Stadium to throw out the first pitch, plus JT Chagua adjusts to life in LA. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers presented by Cadillac right after the postgame show on Sportsnet LA.
Clayton Kershaw back out there for the 6th inning, giving up 2 in the 1st and 1 in the 5th against an ultra-aggressive Nationals lineup tonight. They came into the game with the lowest swing percentage in baseball against left-handed pitchers, swinging at 2/3 of the pitches that he's thrown tonight, completely changing the previous scouting report.
They have really tried to ambush Clayton, keep him away from the slider, attack the fastball, attack strikes early, and it has worked so far.
Bryce Harper to open this inning. Kershaw delivers, and Harper hits a fly ball off the end of the bat for strike 1. Now Bryce Harper, first overall pick, 2010. First season in the minors, got off to somewhat of a slow start. So went in for an eye exam. The eye doctor looks him over, does the test, better at 1 or 2, 2 or 3. You know, you've been to the eye doctor. Finishes the test, and the doctor says, "This is unbelievable." Swing and a miss, 0-2. I got no idea how you've ever hit. Bryce, you have some of the worst eyes I've ever looked at. Can you believe that? This is a guy who's on the cover of Sports Illustrated when he was 16 because of how good a hitter he was. He needed contacts badly. So he gets the contact, starts doing some vision training, some eye exercises, and he said pretty soon it was like he was seeing in HD. A 1-2. Takes it outside for ball 2.
How did he know what HD looked like?
That's a good question.
It just got better.
Really big TVs, yeah, where it didn't matter how bad his eyes were. Bryce got his GED after his sophomore year of high school, so he could start that clock sooner, get headed towards professional baseball. He enrolled at the College of Southern Nevada to become draft eligible a year earlier. and as a 17-year-old playing collegiately, hit 31 home runs in 31 games with bad eyes. Strokes one to right. That's where Puig is waiting and crouching and catching for the first out of the inning.
When you see outfielders do this, this is not for show. This is to try and get the balls out of the lights. And there's a certain height, and there's a certain angle when the ball is coming at you that they can get in lights in every stadium. Here at Dodger Stadium, outstanding lights and outstanding positioning of the lights, but there are still going to be balls that get in the lights everywhere.
Ryan Zimmerman with one out. First pitch curve popped out of Kershaw's hand. Ball one. By the way, so you know how Tyson Ross was supposed to start against the Dodgers on Wednesday? Got moved back because Luis Perdomo was plugged back in. Tyson Ross has a no-hitter through 7 innings against Arizona going right now. Ground ball base hit into center for Zimmerman. He's thrown 104 pitches though, so things get a little complicated for Andy Green moving forward for a guy with a recent injury history. .61 pitches through 5 1/3 for Kershaw.
Every time a manager takes out a guy that has a no-hitter going, he's supporting all the other managers in the future. Rich Hill, Ross Stripling, you think about with Dave Roberts.
This is Sierra. Strike one. And Ross doing it against a very good offense in Arizona at Arizona. One of the top hitters parks in baseball. Other than 2.
Very rarely do you give up 3 runs and only have 63 pitches in the 6th. Just more evidence to show you how early Washington is swinging and putting the ball in play.
Gets him with a curve. 4th K for Kershaw. 2 gone in the 6th. Up comes Matt Wieters. Talked about the rough season Wieters had last year. He hit only .225 in his first season with the Nationals. Takes outside, ball one. Preparation for last year, so going into his first season in Washington, it was set back because of a freak accident he had right before he reported to spring training. He was home in Georgia, dropped a 5-pound glass water jug on his arm. It shattered and cut his forearm wide open. So he had to have immediate surgery to get it all patched together. Couldn't do a whole lot for a few weeks. And then had to play catch up early on last season. Of course, it had healed up, but kind of chasing his tail the whole year. On a 1-0 pitch, he looks at a strike. All of the story is don't play around with 5-pound glasses of water.
That's a lot of water or a lot of glass.
Both, probably. One ball, 2 strikes. Overhauled the diet this offseason, dropped about 15 pounds, paid a lot closer attention to calories in, calories out. I know you're tracking those things, right?
Not calories, but I do watch what I eat as it goes onto my fork and then into my mouth.
Well done.
If you don't watch the food, you sometimes can miss your mouth.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
And how do you get it on your fork if you don't watch what you eat?
It takes skill.
Yeah.
Curveball, line to center field, base hit Wieters. 2 on with 2 out.
Center fielder Michael A. Taylor.
Zimmerman's pretty much a routine ground ball. The first hit in this inning. This ball not hit well at all. And in between it was a strikeout. Clayton having to pitch out of a jam here, but is throwing the ball real well.
Michael Taylor doubled his last time up, came in to score the most recent Nationals run. And trying to break this thing open, relatively speaking, really trying to break it open with Scherzer on the mound. And he takes ball 1. You're Kershaw and the Dodgers, you can ill afford to fall into any bigger of a hole facing the guy that you are. This is 1-0 pitch. Inside for ball 2.
Clayton throws more sliders than anybody in baseball when he's behind in the count. 58%. Won't be surprised if he gets a slider here, even though it's 2-0.
Fouled back. 2-1.
Fastball.
Yeah. Which normally is by the book in that count, but not for him.
In Clayton's mind, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. He begs to go with what has been successful. He'll change it up every once in a while. But he's into executing precisely.
His 2-1 perfectly placed on the inside corner, sticking with the fastball to even the count at 2-2.
That was a great delivery and a great pitch. Boy, just look where his body goes. I know he slips there at the end, but he is driving that ball to the inside corner.
Trying to strand a pair here in the 6th. Set and the 2-2. Curveball is banged into center, a base hit. Zimmerman headed for the plate. Taylor's throw not in time. And a 2-out RBI single from Michael Taylor has the Nationals in front 4-0.
Third baseman Wilmer Depot.
Clayton went inside with the fastball, wanted to keep the curveball away, but also get it down. He kept it away, but it was up. And when your guy that you're pitching to, you get him off balance, the only ball that he has a chance at is the one up because there's enough swing still left.
Back-to-back 2-out hits, both off the curve. And Wilmer Depot bats a 2-on and 2-out. He fouls off the first pitch. Season high 9 hits allowed by Kershaw, giving up 8 on opening day against the Giants, but 9 over 5 2/3 here. Strike 2.
Coming into tonight, Clayton hadn't given up a 3-hit inning. The Nats tonight have 3 of them. It is hard to string hits against the big fella, but the Nats have figured out a way to do it here tonight.
And again, doing it all without Daniel Murphy, without Adam Eaton, without Anthony Rendon. 3 of their top 4 hitters all banged up. Murphy's not played yet this year. Eaton's only played 8 games before going down with an ankle injury. And Rendon has missed this entire week after fouling a ball off his toe. Available tonight to pinch hit. But Murphy and Eaton both still on the DL. Ross Stripling loosening in the Dodger bullpen. One-two to Defoe. Ball two.
Not getting on the same page, making sure they get it right. And a man on second, too. You don't want to be going through the signs an awful lot in case somebody's picking up on them.
Defoe in the air to right. Puig drifting back. Now comes on and makes the catch. And the inning is over. But the Nationals add one against Kershaw and lead 4-0 to the bottom of the sixth. Well, the Dodgers have had some traffic against Max Scherzer tonight, but have gone 0 for 8 once they've gotten runners on. And that's 5 shutout innings for Scherzer as a result.
They're both doing it different ways. Kershaw's been doing it with the breaking ball when he strikes people out, 3 of the 4. And Scherzer's been doing it with the fastball, 4 of 6 with the fastball.
Kershaw's spot in the order not due up for a while here as Dave Roberts chats with him. And now Yasmani Grandal, the free hitter, to lead this inning off. Starts him with a fastball, low and inside, ball one. Change up for a strike. Grandal trying to extend that 8-game hitting streak. Longest this year for a Dodger. And on a 1-1 pitch, he swings and misses through a fastball. got him swinging. So one away, and add to your Dodger bobblehead collection tomorrow. First 40,000 fans in attendance get a Cody Bellinger bobblehead commemorating his NL Rookie of the Year award, courtesy of Spectrum. Go to Dodgers.com/promotions to learn more. And it's Bellinger headed to the plate here with a strikeout and a walk so far. Scherzer pitches. Bellinger swings and misses on a fastball. It's inside 1-1. Scherzer, the guy with the two different eyes. A lot of casual baseball fans identify him. His mom first noticed that when he was 4 months old. Right now he's got one blue, one brown, but at first it was one blue and one green. And as that first year went on, the blue eye got bluer, the green eye turned brown. It's Bellinger swinging with a changeup. 2 up and 2 down and a couple of Ks. As a kid, anytime that he would draw pictures of other kids or animals, he would give them one blue eye, one brown eye. And so for his parents, it was really easy during parent-teacher conferences to go in and see which pictures he had done. They just find the one with the mismatched eyes. With 2 gone in the 6th inning, Jack Peterson. Looks at one high, ball 1. Just low, 2-0. Takes that one as well. 3 balls, no strikes. Pitch count starting to climb for Scherzer. He's at 88 right now. Nationals bullpen, by the way, worst in the National League so far. Off day yesterday came at a great time for him. Really, they have 3 good relievers, and then everybody else has struggled. But Madsen, Kinsler, Doolittle have all been strong. Don't have a ton of depth down there. 3-2.
Christian Walker just broke up Tyson Ross's no-hitter, and he lost a shutout at the same time because the double over the center fielder's head drove in a run. The runner was from a walk and a wild pitch.
2-out walk for Peterson. Christian Walker, huh? It's always a Christian Walker, some guy like that breaks up history.
The ball in center field for me was probably misplayed a little bit. It went over his head and he took a few steps in before he went back.
127 pitches total for Ross, and he's finished now after that double tied it. With 2 gone, it's Utley.
His career high pitch count before that was 120, so they pushed the envelope.
Scherzer, a guy with a couple of no-hitters in his career. Both came in 2015, and both actually were one batter from being perfect. In fact, the first one, he lost with 2 out in the 9th inning. He hit Jose Tabata with a 2-2 pitch. It was 1 strike from perfection. And in the other no-hitter is a throwing error from Yunel Escobar that allowed the only base runner of the game. Similar to Kershaw's no-hitter against Colorado, where Hanley Ramirez's throwing error was all that kept it from being a perfect game. Saw some note, I think it's like 1 of every 6 starts as a national for Scherzer. He's taken a no-hitter into the 6th inning. Utley grounds it foul, and it's 1-2.
He was definitely special. I mean, Nomar documented it earlier about all of his stuff, and then all of a sudden he became Max Scherzer when he got command. And you can see that right now. He's got every tool.
Eight Ks tonight. Dodgers only 2 hits against him, both from Chris Taylor. Scherzer deals 1-2, and Utley watches ball 2. Utley can reach. Puig would bat. Not just your average shift on right now. This thing is tailor-made for whatever data they have on Chase Utley as far as the spray chart goes. And it worked earlier. Hit a bullet of a one-hopper, but right at Howie Kendrick out there in short right. Peterson at first. Another 2-2 from Max Scherzer. Utley grounds it foul.
It is very interesting shift. Where Howie Kendrick is usually the shortstop and the third baseman comes over to the right side when you are that much to pull as a second baseman. It looks like they think Chase is either going to roll over it in a big way and pull it or hit the ball up the middle. And we have seen a lot of hits from Chase this year up the middle.
Another 2-2. That is going to find its way through the shift. First and third with 2 out. And Scherzer nearing 100 pitches on the night.
The Nationals might not know the nickname of Chase Utley now. The Silver Fox gets a little foxy and doesn't drive it completely up the middle, but goes to the vacated second base classic position. Hits it hard and gets it through.
And gets Puig up with 2 on and 2 out in the 6th inning. Just missed his first home run of the season again. You can say that a couple times over the first month or so here. Fly to the wall in the 2nd. Struck out looking in the 4th. Peterson kept the inning alive with a walk in front of the Utley single. And a Mad Max starting to bear down. Puig takes high ball 1. It's that stage of the night where the intensity in his eyes tends to go to another level. The next pitch will be his 100th. And Puig takes a low strike, 1-1.
Right about now, Yasiel is saying he's hard enough to hit with a normal strike zone. If he's going to get that pitch, it's going to be really hard to hit. I can see why Yasiel thought that was a little low, but it is not the kneecap. It's the hollow of the knee. That's right below your kneecap, in that soft spot.
So now 1-1 pitch. That's in there for a strike 1 and 2. Ross Stripling continues to warm. Looks like we could perhaps be at the end of the line for Kershaw. And Matt Grace in the Nats bullpen. Here comes the 1-2. Puig fouls it off. And one of the things the Dodgers have gotten going during this 4-game winning streak is their production when they've had runners on base. Couple things, really. They've started to walk, and they've done that tonight 3 times against Scherzer. But they've been much better in these situations lately. Not so much tonight. 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Another 1-2 from Scherzer to Puig. And Puig lines a base hit to left to get on the board against Scherzer with a 2-out rally in the 6th.
This is just a great at-bat by Yasiel Puig. Gets a fastball up and in, and he takes it for a ball. Then there's the slider down that was borderline he did not like. That's because of his at-bat before. But he takes one right down the middle, and you're upset with himself. Fouls off that one. This time stays on the ball. Even the one he fouled off right before, pulled out just a little bit. Makes an adjustment, doesn't pull out, stay on the ball. The slider down comes up big.
So back-to-back 2-out, 2 strike hits for the Dodgers, Utley and Puig. And now Max Muncy in his first game at Dodger Stadium finds himself squarely in the spotlight, representing the tying run. Matt Kemp in the on-deck circle. Scherzer deals. Muncy takes a strike. Muncy homered on Wednesday night. Home run here against Scherzer would tie the game. And 0-1. The changeup fouled off, strike 2.
Muncy's last at bat flew out to right field and was on a fastball. Scherzer has not shown him one like that. Breaking ball, changeup.
Fastball, and he went around for strike 3. But the Dodgers get on the board with a 2-out rally. Puig drives home a run, and it's 4-1 after 6. Nationals 4, Dodgers 1, 9-1-2 coming up in this inning. That means Trey Turner will bat second. And it's time now for Built for Baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Here's Nomar.
Well, Trey Turner so far has really started the offense for the Washington Nationals in the very first inning, attacking the first pitch for a nice double, and then defensively coming up big. And then continuing on the offensive side, very smart play, a perfect bunt. Not trying to do too much against an ace like Clayton Kershaw, helping his team out.
Well, guys, the night is finished for Max Scherzer. This is Matt Reynolds to hit for him. 1 run over 6 innings. And there's a small victory, getting him out of the game. The bullpen has not been great for Washington. A few good pieces, but not a ton of depth down there. Kershaw stays in. Strike 1 on Reynolds. Probably would have spelled the end if Kershaw had that last inning gone one more batter with his spot doing the order. But at this point, only 80 pitches deep. Dave Roberts sticks with him. He'll try to keep it at 4-1.
Well, Dave Martinez's equation on the other side is, do I let Max go and extend him, but hand the ball off to a bullpen that hasn't been doing well, maybe in the middle of a jam? Or get my starter out and let the bullpen get a fresh inning.
Reynolds pops it to Seager at short. 1 out.
And add to that fresh inning a chance to get more runs by putting your pinch hitter up there as your leadoff hitter.
Shortstop number 7, Trey Turner.
Now, Clayton has just not had very good timing this year as far as getting run support. You know, got all of his runs, that 7th spot in his win, but the other ones 0, 1, 1, and tonight only 1.
Coming inside with the first one to Turner, who grounds it to the hole at short. Seager knows how fast Turner is, so hurries to throw. And trusting Bellinger, as you see all these fielders do more and more. Just kind of floated it over there and closed his eyes. Prayed Bellinger would do what he's been doing.
Yeah, Corey really did a great job getting rid of the ball, and at the other end, Belly just shows it to the umpire that yes, it's in the glove. It just took 2 hands to get it in there.
How comforting of a thing to know that you have Bellinger on the back end of your throws down there. 2 gone for Kendrick. He looks at a strike.
We showed that run support graphic with Clayton. The great years are made up of not only great pitching, but great timing with your offense on your nights. And it has been bare bones for Clayton as far as getting run support so far this year. So to build that huge win total that he usually does, it's going to take some really good pitching the rest of the year.
He's got himself another 1-2-3 inning here on just 7 pitches. We stretch at Dodger Stadium. Still a ways to go. Dodgers trying to chip away now into the bullpen. Scherzer's finish. by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Really cool moment between innings tonight. This is Air Force Captain Robert Wolf, who is currently serving his 6-month deployment in Afghanistan, surprising his wife Jordan, who was watching a pre-film message from him up on the video board when he ran from behind, and surprised her, celebrating their 5-year wedding anniversary at the end of this month.
Every time I see those, I get a little choked up. I'm like, I hope I don't have to talk here in a minute, because I need a breather.
Thankfully, we had a few innings to come back from that one before we showed it. Clayton Kershaw's night is finished. Austin Barnes leading off the bottom of the 7th and taking a strike from Matt Grace. Now, feels like a victory having Scherzer out of the game. And now into that Nationals bullpen that has an ERA near 6. Barnes takes ball 1. Really a 3-headed monster down there in the bullpen, and Grace is not part of that. So Dave Martinez trying to steal some outs here with a guy who's not been one of his best. Probably would have gotten a strike if Wieters had squeezed it. Instead falls behind 2-1.
Grace is going to come at Austin Barnes with a sinker, a slider, and a changeup. He's had 3 days rest.
Ross Stripling sat down after warming in case Kershaw couldn't make it out of the 6th. Now it's Liberatore joining Baez. After Barnes, top of the order coming up. Ground ball to short. Turner behind the bag. Jump throw. Not in time. Barnes beats it out to start the inning.
Trey Turner has some decisions. Do I spin or do I just open up and try and throw it over there? Well, Austin Barnes can fly. He doesn't run like a catcher. He runs like a middle infielder. He is sniffing a hit the whole way. Dave Martinez, Nats manager, trying to see if they're going to look at a replay or not. So there's a short delay right now.
That's Chip Hill, the old Diamondbacks manager, now the bench coach in Washington. Taking a while to decide it. Dave Martinez initially held his hands to his ears as if to say, take a look at it. But now they're delaying a little bit more. I think they're going to let him play on. That would have been a tough one to overturn either way. Had he been called out, would have been tough to overturn it to safe. He's called safe. And I think the Nationals deciding it'd be hard for them to overturn it to out.
Austin Barnes is glad it's not being reviewed. He needs a few hits, and that one might help him get on a road to recovering his batting average.
Top of the order now with Taylor looking at a strike. Been a good night for Chris Taylor, Oral, after first 4 strikeout game of his career on Wednesday. Against Scherzer, a triple, a double, and a walk. Takes the ball. Trying to rally to get Kershaw off the hook. Taylor's ahead 2-1. Against Matt Grace, Southern California native, the Palos Verdes Estates, 29 years old. Played his college ball at UCLA. Deals 2-1. Taylor shows bunt, takes ball 3.
Pretty good equation building here for the Dodgers. Scherzer out of the game. Austin Barnes reaches. Chris Taylor in a hitter's count and no outs. Getting a briefing over there from Turner Ward on Grace.
That's ball 4, the first 2 reach here on the 7th. Totally different vibe in here with Scherzer out, isn't there?
It is. It's starting to feel like a Dodger rally, not just because of first and second and no out, but where they are in the batting order, what's going on the mound. It just feels like something is building.
Taylor's reached all 4 times. First time this season he's reached 4 times in a game. Oh, a nice follow-up to his first career 4 strikeout game. And in earnest, double-barreled action in the Nationals bullpen. Corey Seager representing the tying run. Takes just off of the plate, ball 1. The 2 pitchers warming, by the way, Solis and Torres. Neither one of those guys are part of the 3-headed monster. There's some thought that they've been used so much, when you're talking about Kinsler and Madsen and Doolittle, that he may have to dial it back. Got a 1-0. That's in the dirt, ball 2.
And that's a hard decision to make when you have Max Scherzer on the mound, your ace, and you usually have full metal jacket for those guys of what lineup you put out there and what bullpen pieces you call on.
He's been using Ryan Madsen in kind of a highest leverage role. It seems like this would be a spot where you would see Madsen if he was planning to use him tonight. Heart of the order, tying run at the plate. Instead, it's Matt Grace. He of the ERA above 4. Seager takes a breaking ball strike, 2-1.
13th pitch, only the 5th strike, so Grace is not on his game and he is in a jam.
And now the trainer coming out with Davey Martinez.
Does Grace wince after this pitch? Does he move something like, look like a little hop on the landing leg? Like he's got something. And if somebody is dealing with minor aches and pains or something that could turn into something major, the trainers are watching you with a hawk eye the whole time you're on the field because they know you're on the edge. So any little motion like in the follow through or a wince or a change in your body posture out there, all of a sudden they are jumping out of the dugout in a hurry.
So Dale Gilbert and Dave Martinez head back to the dugout. Grace going to stay in. 2 balls and a strike on Seager. Not much breeze at this point. The temperature noticeably cooler than it was this afternoon, and that's typically an equation for the ball not to fly real well. 2-1. Swings and misses, strike 2.
And Yasiel Puig flew out just barely, almost out at the center field wall. It was 62 degrees. Now we're down to 58 degrees, so it won't carry as much now.
Full count. Nationals getting 2 in the first, 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th, all against Kershaw. Dodgers cracking through against Scherzer with a 2-out base hit from Puig in the 6th. A promising start to the 7th. Grace is 3-2. Gets Seager swinging for the first out.
Catcher number 9,
Slider, 3-2 slider, nowhere to put him really with first and second in a 3-2 count, but he executes the best pitch he has so far of the 16 he's thrown. That's all he's going to get to throw.
Dave Martinez back into that bullpen. So Grace gives up a single to Barnes. He walks Taylor, but able to finish his outing on a high note, striking out Seager. They'll go back into the bullpen. Bring somebody else on for Yasmani Grandal. Strasburg against Ryu. They wrap up on Sunday, and then 3 with the Marlins to finish up this homestand. 4-1 game in the 7th inning. Sammy Solis, an ERA above 6. Still not one of those pieces of the bullpen that they feel great about. But coming out with a tying run at the plate in the form of Yasmani Grandal.
Yasmani Grandal has been very hot. He and Matt Kemp have really carried this Dodger offense here early in the 2018 season.
0 for 3 today, trying to extend his 8-game hitting streak. With Barnes at second and Taylor at first, both wandering way off of the bag. And Solis steps off, gives him a look. All 3 home runs for Grandal this season have come from the other side of the plate. On the first one from Solis, he rips a base hit into left field. Here comes Austin Barnes. Throw to the plate is not in time. RBI single Grandal on a 4-2 game in the 7th.
You can't help carry an offense as a switch hitter if you're not hitting from both sides of the plate. The Arco top-tier play of the game is this Grandal base hit to left, driving in the second Dodger run. Something that Yasmani worked very hard on throughout his whole career, but might have found something this offseason with the right-handed swing, and it is showing up in a big way here in April.
Boy, that is an aggressive send from Chris Woodward. Chris remarked before the game today that he thinks collectively the 3 arms in this Nationals outfield are the best in the league. That includes Sierra in left, who he was particularly impressed with. Tying run now aboard. Go ahead run at the plate. Cody Bellinger takes ball 1 in the dirt. And Wieters had that thing between his feet, but couldn't seem to find it. He did in time. Runners hold. The 1-0. A little bit outside. 2 balls, no strikes. You know, the Nationals won the first 2 games against the Mets earlier this week and had the lead late in the finale on Wednesday, only to give up an 8th spot in the 8th inning and lose that game. Kemp is on deck. Solis is 2-0. Bellinger fouls it off, strike 1. On a 2-1 pitch. Instead of look back to second from Solis.
Solis had a solid 2016, a rough 2017, but they recalled him on August 4th, and he came up with 11 scoreless appearances to end last year. He has not picked up where he left off.
2-1. 2 balls, 2 strikes, in the hands of Bellinger.
Got a lot of swing and miss pitches. He almost strikes out 2 an inning. A little over 17 strikeouts for every 9 innings pitched is where he's at in his career, but he also makes mistakes.
Bellinger stays alive, slapping 94 off of the outside. Could this be the first real signature moment of 2018 for these Dodgers? Down 4-0 at one point. 2 on, 1 out in the 7th. Then a 2-2 to Bellinger. Got him swinging. 2 out.
Breaking ball. Might even been a changeup. Definitely off speed and definitely out in front.
And listen to the ovation for the pinch hitter, Matt Kemp. They're as excited about his return to begin with, and then he's putting together the kind of season that he is, and they're even more fired up around here about ball number 27.
He has had some of the smoothest but most powerful swings I've seen in a long time. Great balance, great leverage. And it looks like it when he hits it a long way or hits it hard, it's very little effort.
And the left-hander Solis, who's been just as good against right-handed pitchers or right-handed hitters as left-handed hitters in his career, stays in for him. With 2 on and 2 out in the 7th inning. Solis to Kemp. Backs him off with a plate, ball 1. One and 1. Taylor at second. Grandal at first. And Matt Kemp takes in the dirt for ball 2. So at least 2-1. Kemp jams one on the ground to second. Kendrick position well, steps on the bag and ends the inning. Dodgers get one more, and after 7, it's 4-2.
All right, thanks, Cole. Coming up after the game, Ned and Jerry will break down this heavyweight matchup between Kershaw and Scherzer. Hopefully, we're talking about a Dodgers come-from-behind win against the worst bullpen in the National League this year. We'll see you right after the game.
Thank you, John. We'll have that and much more, including reaction from Clayton Kershaw as well as the whole gang. But until then, back to you, Joe.
All right, Paul, a couple of changes for you. Cody Bellinger slides out to left field. Austin Barnes stays in the game and plays second. And Chase Utley slides over to first. So that means the pitcher spot is now where Kemp pitch hit in the 5 spot in the order. And Pedro Baez now fills it.
Pedro Baez got off to a great start last year, and it lasted a long time. And here in 2018, following that same pattern coming out of spring, and has been very dominant. 8 2/3 innings. Look at those 12 Ks.
Heart of the order. Bryce Harper to lead the inning off. Which, by the way, is Cody Bellinger's first action in the outfield this season. Started 37 games out there last year. Started him with a changeup and miss. Leading the majors in homers, leading the National League in homers, RBIs, runs scored, slugging. The 5-time All-Star, former Rookie of the Year, former MVP. Who, of course, is a free agent at the end of the year. Don't know if you heard that. It's a little bit of buzz around that. Said his grandma taught him 2 things that he should never talk about. Number 1, politics. Number 2, his salary. And so with that second piece of advice, he's trying to stay away from talking about it mid-season. As his agent Scott Boras, consistent presence here at Dodger Stadium. 2-1. Bryce Harper expected to rake in a new record contract this offseason.
25 years old and will be a free agent after the season. There's a lot of guys that don't get to the big leagues till they're 25. And that's why it's going to be a record contract, other than the production on the field.
Sure. Debuted when he was 19 in this ballpark. Same night, Dodgers got a walk-off home run from Matt Kemp in the 10th inning. Harper swings and misses, 2-2. Zimmerman and Sierra to follow.
I don't know how close Scott Boras is to retiring, but I could see him dropping the mic after negotiating Harper's contract.
I was going to say he's at least a year away. Takes the same pitch that he just offered at. The count goes full.
I think when Mr. Boras retires, it'd probably just be from work. Any contracts that exist, he still will be hanging around the office.
Retainers. He's just going to save up a little more. 3-2. Harper corks foul. With Ryan Zimmerman struggling behind Harper, that combined with Harper's reputation, teams have pitched around Harper so far, and he has twice as many walks as he does strikeouts. 24 walks, and with the strikeout tonight, 13 strikeouts total. Baez deals him another 3-2, and Harper lays off for ball 4.
Really close to a called strike. It's really close to a swing.
First baseman number 11, Ryan Zimmerman.
And it's an actual slip. I don't know where Bryce slips right here. The back foot coming forward, and he's just not on his spikes. He's on the side of his foot on the front foot, and the back foot sliding forward, and he just loses his balance.
But able to check the swing, and the leadoff man on here in the 8th inning. Ryan Zimmerman comes up. Well, Zimmerman going through all the struggles he has early this season, with the average sitting around 100 prior to his big game on Wednesday. His manager Dave Martinez pulled him aside earlier this week, sat him down and said, "Hey, I got a message for you." That's strike one. Pulled out a piece of paper that he had printed off. And Zimmerman, not a big analytics guy, didn't get too deep into it. Martinez, 10 years under Joe Madden, it's obviously a big part of what he does. With a sheet of paper, just had some real simple sabermetric and StatCast type numbers on it that said basically he's hitting the ball harder than anybody else. He's just not getting any success from it. And so the message was, don't change a thing. Your swing's fine. You're hitting it hard. These numbers tell me you're having bad luck. Sure enough, the next day, 2 home runs and a double. You add in today, and he's 5 for his last 7 with 2 home runs, 2 doubles. Oh, 2. Baez gets him swinging.
On a changeup. Pedro Baez using his changeup as a finish pitch. We are watching the growth of this young man. Always had the electric fastball, always had confidence in that pitch, almost to a fault. But now the slider and the changeup, throwing him more often and actually being developed very, very well.
You can see the look on Zimmerman's face in the backswing there, as if to say, wow, it's pretty good. On one end of the spectrum, you have Harper and his meteoric rise, debut at 19. On the other end, you have the man at the plate now, Moises Sierra. Harper having a good laugh over something. I mean, he thought that his lead warranted a throw from Pedro. Sierra, the hitter up there right now, 29 years old. Parts of 12 seasons as a pro, but only parts of 3 years in the majors. Broke in with Toronto several years back, and a couple of years there, then part of his season with the White Sox. But this is his first major league experience in 4 years. So he had tasted the bigs for a few seasons, then 3 whole years spent between AA and AAA, from one organization to another. Baez gets ahead of him 0-2.
Really has been labeled as an insurance policy, and not by everyone being one of the first choices. Really a little farther down the depth chart. Not getting an opportunity here because of Washington's injuries.
Fly ball to right field. Puig coming on, still coming, not going to get there despite a tremendous effort. A bloop of a single for Sierra.
Yasiel gets up a little gimpy. He did make a tremendous effort on it. He got an outstanding jump. Now he's at full speed, and he just lays out for it. And he knows about midway through that jump he's not going to get it, and did a wonderful job raising his glove up and blocking the ball so it doesn't get by him, and doesn't quit there. Gets on it in a hurry.
So they're first and second with one out for Matt Wieters. Dodgers have gotten single runs each of the last 2 innings. Baez trying to keep them right there within striking distance.
Good double play candidate at the dish.
Throwing a first pitch off speed for a strike.
With all the shifts now in baseball, the pick off to second for the catcher is a lot easier, because a lot of times the middle infielder is kind of right there in your peripheral vision, and you get a little easier target to throw it down there. Instead of throwing it down there to an empty second base and timing it up, a little easier target when your shortstop's hanging behind the runner.
1-2.
Dodger Stadium feels a little nervous. They were excited the Dodgers climbing back into the game, and now with first and second, one out, everybody's kind of sitting on their hands hoping they get out of this inning with a 0.
A little bit up, 2 balls, 2 strikes. First of 3 between these teams this weekend. Dodgers will return the favor next month, and they'll have played all 6 before the calendar turns to June. Here comes a 2-2, way up there, full count.
You go from a guy that is a big-time double play candidate to one that is not in the on-deck circle. It's a huge 3-2 pitch.
It's on the way, and Wieters lays off ball 4. Second walk of the inning, and they're loaded up for Washington for Michael Taylor.
Number 3, Michael A. Taylor.
Tonight is doubled and singled home a run.
Dodgers will probably have to bring the infield in.
It's Liberatore getting ready again.
They're playing it back.
Strike one. Great crowd for this Friday night. 50,211. The fireworks to follow. Baez to Taylor with an 0-1. That's up, ball one. 6 o'clock start time tomorrow night. Strasburg for the Nationals, Ryu for the Dodgers. And on Sunday, that's at 5:05. Jeremy Hellickson against Alex Wood. And just a reminder that Sunday game exclusively on ESPN. We'll be back with you Monday night. Taylor takes just off of the plate for a big ball 2 call.
Slider on the corner or just off? Just a little off.
Says Chris Siegel, home plate umpire tonight. His 5th year in the majors. Comes Baez with a 2-1. Taylor behind it, 2-2. Harper started the inning with a walk. Sierra with a bloop single. Wieters with a walk of his own. And now a 2-2 pitch from Pedro Baez to Michael Taylor. Got him swinging, overpowering him with a fastball.
Nice job by Pedro keeping his focus. The slider just off the corner seemed to get his attention, like where was that? Then he came back with a great fastball away, and then that fastball up that just rode in on Taylor's hands and beat him.
So now it's the 8-hitter Wilmer Defoe. Bases loaded, 2 out, and a 2-run game in the 8th inning. Defoe hitless in 3 tries against Kershaw. Comes from the right side, flips over and bats left-handed. And swings through a fastball again in 96.
Mixing in the changeup early in the inning, the slider a little later in the inning. Now showing a lot of life with the fastball. You can slow a hitter down just by showing him when he's in the on-deck circle, when he's in the hole, when he's watching you from the bench that, hey, I will throw these pitches.
Stuck with a fastball and miss. Hasn't been the prettiest inning for Pedro, but a chance to accomplish the bottom line, put up a 0. Loaded up with 2 gone. About to throw his 27th pitch of the inning. Here it is. The changeup taken for a ball, 2-1. Matt Adams is in the on deck circle.
Dodgers do not want to see him this inning. That means something bad has happened.
He goes to 3-1 on the light hitting default.
For the good hitters, you might need the up fastball around the letters, but to a weaker hitting batter, the high fastball is just a ball above the waist. With Pedro's velocity, you can beat him there.
Walks home a run with his third walk of the inning, and it's 5-2 Washington.
He's being too fine with that high fastball. It is his go-to pitch. But he can't leave it too high and can't be pulling it inside.
15, Matt Adams.
Dave Roberts coming out to the mound. That's going to do it for Baez. Looks like he's going to Liberatore. A hit and 3 walks allowed by Baez, and the Nationals have added one here in the 8th.
Adams going to get an opportunity out of the bullpen. He's just not up here for a short time. I think the Dodgers want to get a look at him when he has been on his game and healthy. He is one of the best attackers of the strike zone, and he can be very clutch.
On to face the left-handed batting Matt Adams, a much slimmer Matt Adams, and you may remember from his years in St. Louis. Went to the Braves last year, partway through the season. And now with the Nationals. Bases still loaded, 2 gone in the 8th, and here comes Liberatore. Ball 1. Of course, in a game started by Kershaw. This brings up bad memories with Adams hitting back in the division series a few years ago with his game-winning 3-run home run. Dropped about 40 pounds since then. A pop-up. So it'll stay in play for who? Bellinger sprinting in from left. First inning of the year for him out there. Nationals get one against Baez and lead 5-2 to the bottom of the 8th.
Dodger fans wishing you had a little more help waking up in the morning? Be one of the first 40,000 fans in attendance on Tuesday when the Dodgers host a 3-game series with the Marlins and receive your own It's Time for Dodger Baseball Alarm Clock. Presented by your SoCal Honda dealers. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Now the first look at one of the good ones from that Washington bullpen, and I know the ERA argues against that, but it's a little bit skewed. Kinsler gave up a bunch in his first few outings. 5 in a row, though. Nothing against the all-star from a year ago in Minnesota.
93-mile-an-hour heater. A couple of off-speed pitches that are not that off-speed. 87-mile-an-hour slider and about an 87-mile-an-hour changeup. So you're going to get something hard, but it's going to be somewhere between 86 and about 93.
Utley, Puig, and Muncy coming up. Nationals taking some of the air out of the building, getting one back in the top of this inning after the Dodgers had chipped away with single runs in the 6th and the 7th. And doing it kind of death by 1,000 paper cuts with 3 walks against Bias. 3 walks and a bloop single.
Extra painful with those walks.
Ball on a strike. Only 1 for 3 tonight. 342 average for him on his age 39 season. One and 2. Chopper to Kendrick in short right, and just in time to get him.
That's the second one of those that Chase almost beat out. Howie Kendrick really understanding where he is, how deep he is, how hard the ball's hit, and then getting the ball to first base just in the nick of time. That one he made a little quicker effort, understanding that the last one was so close, and so was that one.
That unique shift that they have on for Kendrick, or for Utley. One away for Puig. It's one of the things that, you know, Dusty Baker the last 2 seasons was the manager for the Nationals. Very successful. Back-to-back division titles. 95+ wins both seasons. But known as being very old school. And they kind of went to the other end of the spectrum, bringing on a Joe Madden protege and Dave Martinez. Puig shows bunt, takes a strike. They're very aggressive with their shifting. Very forward thinking. See Martinez use Madsen in a high leverage role. Seen him hit his pitcher's 8th. 1 ball, 1 strike. But we've also seen him apply a personal touch and more of a traditionalist touch. For example, sticking with Ryan Zimmerman through all of his struggles in the cleanup spot. Bouncer off of the plate. And Kinsler throws Puig out, 2 away. So Puig's 1 for 4, and with 2 out in the 8th inning, Max Muncy comes up. He hits it in the air to left center field. It carries pretty well. Sierra's on the track to make the catch and bring the inning to an end. Second time over the last few days Muncy's just missed getting out of here. Through with 8 in a 5-2 game. Back-to-back really good outings for LA.
You look at the batting average against, Ryu is beating Strasburg, the ERA, so this would be a very good matchup, and the Dodgers are in good hands with Ryu on the mound right now.
Adam Liberatore facing the top of the Nationals order here in the 9th inning. The Nats up 5-2. Haven't wasted no time getting ahead of Kershaw tonight with 2 in the first. There was this man pummeling a line drive on the first pitch of the night and scoring their first run. Turner, very smart young man. He was a chemical engineering major at NC State. One of his hobbies now is working the stock market in his free time. Still just 24 years old, already his 4th year with Major League time. Trying to bounce back from what was a disappointing year. Remember, 2 years ago, he was a runner-up to Corey Seager for Rookie of the Year, but then last year was limited to just 98 games, had some injuries. Missed more than a month with a hamstring. Missed a couple months with a broken wrist that he suffered on a fastball in June. Bounces one to his counterpart Seager at short. He throws to get him. And Turner the first out of the 9th.
Corey Seager has had some impressive plays at shortstop that he made look very routine with Turner running. He's done an awesome job charging the ball, getting around it, and getting his feet square to get rid of the ball quickly.
Turner retired. Here's Kendrick, 0 for 4 tonight. I mentioned Dusty Baker having managed the last 2 seasons. That 12 that Kendrick is wearing is Dusty's old number. Howie had won 47 his whole career before getting to Washington, but Gio Gonzalez has had that for quite a while. So Kendrick took 4, and they acquired him at the deadline last year. Then in the time between last year wrapping up and the time that he signed a new contract, Dave Martinez was hired and took number 4, so he had to come up with a new number again, and it just so worked out that he liked 12, and that became available when Dusty Baker left. On a 2-0 from Liberatore, Kendrick looks at strike 1.
All you have to do is look at the history of Nationals managers and understand what they are vying for. They're vying for a world championship. Last 2 managers, Dusty Baker, Matt Williams, they're on the all-time high list of best winning percentage in the regular season for the whole franchise. Dusty Baker at .593 and Matt Williams at .550, but they are both gone.
Won the division by 20 games last year. They're in first place for all but 3 days. 4th division title in 6 years, but they lost in the NLDS all 4 times around. Fits him in the box. 2 balls, 2 strikes. 50th year of this franchise. 14th in DC. After moving from Montreal in 2005. Gone to the postseason 5 times as a franchise and only won 1 series. Against the Phillies in the split season of '81. Of course, then getting knocked out by the Dodgers in the league championship series. Kendrick muscles one to second that Austin Barnes picks off for out number 2.
A lot of pieces on the Dodger roster that you can move around. Chase Utley at first, Austin Barnes at second right now, Cody Bellinger in left, and nobody feels like they're out of position. They all can do it in a lot of different places.
2 gone for Harper in a 5-2 game in the 9th. Told you how Kendrick got 12. Harper wears 34. You always love Mickey Mantle. 3 + 4. equals Mantle's 7. Wanted a double-digit number. Rolls one into the shift. Barnes is waiting in right field. He throws Harper out and sends us to the bottom of the 9th inning. He'll lead the inning off. And it's Taylor who's reached all 4 times tonight. And Seager. Dodgers trying to rally against Doolittle in the bottom of the 9th. Doolittle has only had a few opportunities this year and has saved the game in all 3 tries. So we'll try to shut the Dodgers down with Barnes, Taylor, and Seager coming up.
Has recorded at least 2 strikeouts in 7 straight 1-inning appearances. That is tied for the 4th longest streak in Major League Baseball history. Fastball around 95, 96.
Barnes singled his first time up. It was in the 7th. Taylor's reached all 4 times. Then you get into the teeth of the lineup. Seager and Grandal and Bellinger. And a night where they trailed pretty much from go. 2 in the first inning from the Nationals. They got 1 in the 5th, 1 in the 6th. And after the Dodgers got single runs in the 6th and the 7th to pull to within 4-2, Nationals getting a big run in the 8th against Pedro Baez. So here we go at the 9th. Barnes looking at strike 1 at 93. Four-game winning streak on the line for the Dodgers here. Ball and a strike. Nationals trying to get their 4th win out of their last 5 after a 3-9 stretch that included a 5-game losing streak. High strike, 1-2.
Didn't have to be.
Buzzes up high, 2-2. Doolittle came over from Oakland last year. The Nationals for much of last season had the single worst pen in baseball, but short things up at the deadline. All 3 guys they count on now came over mid-season. This is one of them. He strikes out Barnes to open the 9th.
You see Rich Hill with his breaking ball and then high fastball away, and Rich does not have the heater that Doolittle does. Through the high slider, caught a strike with it. It's going to be hard in that high and away corner for righties to lay off when that slider got called a strike.
Bases empty, 1 out, and Chris Taylor having a great response to his first career 4 strikeout game Wednesday. Double and a triple and 2 walks tonight. Aggressive in the first pitch, grounds it to Defoe. And the Dodgers down to their final out.
Shortstop number 5, Corey Seager.
Seager, after his 4-hit game Wednesday, is 0 for 2. An offense that had come alive during that 4-game winning streak, averaging 9 runs per game during the winning streak. Silence tonight. 1 run against Scherzer through 6, 1 run against the bullpen. Seager slaps it foul, 0-2. Have another big test tomorrow with Strasburg pitching. And what is a good measuring stick weekend for the Dodgers? Yes, a sweep this week, but a sweep of the Padres. And now facing a team expected to be there in October. 0-2 from Doolittle. Seager stays alive.
Yeah, the sweep in San Diego got him healthy and got him ready for this series. And 1 loss tonight is not going to ruin this series. You expect to lose to other quality teams, but you'd hope to win your 2nd series of the year, coming back with a victory on Saturday and Sunday.
Seager pops it up, and in left field, Moises Sierra will put it away, and the Nationals take this opener by a final of 5-2.
Well, the Titans battled at it, and Scherzer came up stronger. Clayton Kershaw will redeem himself probably in his next outing, but this one hurt a little bit.
And Scherzer, the winner, is the player of the game, brought to you by Lexus. He goes 6 innings tonight. He strikes out 9. The Dodgers played in just the 1 run on the 2-out base hit from Puig in the 6th. 5-2 the final score. Nationals get back to 510-10, with the Dodgers fall to 8-10. They'll try and get a new winning streak going tomorrow. Try and set up a series rubber match on Sunday. For Orl and Nomar and Cole, Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium. Access Sportsnet Dodgers begins now.